What's good, Patreon? This is IQ Domino Live. Welcome to the motherfucking lab. All right, now we're going to be going over a few things for the new people that are just joining us. You know what I'm saying? Welcome. This is the basics of the course. And this is kind of basic set, low-key advanced. I ain't gonna lie, this is some advanced material, but, you know, it's for the basics for right now. We're going to just stick with the basics of the advanced material right now, which is the process of listening, the process of becoming more, the process of understanding more, and the process of understanding that you are worth more than what you might seem right now. But I want y'all to really fully accept, you know, I want y'all to fully accept that you are where you are. Whether that be is that if you're the type of motherfucker that really don't believe in yourself, you don't follow up what you do, you don't, you know, go for what you want. You let fear get the best of you most of the time. You don't believe in yourself, man. It's just, and it's okay, because you in the motherfucking lab. You about to really mix the chemicals, and you about to come out a whole nother motherfucker. But right now, I need y'all to really understand and accept that you are not somebody that don't believe in yourself. If you're somebody who has you have a good financial standing, or you're a person that does have something different to bring to the table, and you're not moving, you're not marketing that, you're not expressing that, you're not doing anything with that gift, you have no self-worth. You do not see yourself as valuable, okay? If you're somebody who it takes you a long time to learn, I promise you it's because you already think you know everything. Your cup is already full, you know what I'm saying? You full of assumptions, you feel like you know everything, okay? If you, all these things that y'all need y'all to really put this together, that because you are so quick to talk and quick to speak like you know everything, you don't know anything. And for those who are not really, who never really have a concept, and they never feel like they end up developing a sense of being for themselves, I want y'all to understand that y'all motherfuckers are somebody who don't really seek to understand nothing. Y'all just take shit in, and y'all feel like once y'all get information, y'all just want to know it. Y'all don't really understand it enough to be able to exercise it, practice it, express it in any situation where you can use it and become adaptable with the information. You know what I'm saying? So because of this is where you are. Because this is where you chose to be. You know what I'm saying? This is a choice. But this is going to be a long process, and this is just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? All that's finna change. Now, you know what I'm saying? You about to be somebody who do understand. Now you finna create your own world. Now you finna be somebody who constantly adapting to every situation, who faithful and believe in yourself on a whole nother level. It's about to be a whole nother thing for y'all. And it's just the first video. You know what I'm saying? This is just the first video. I want y'all to really take in this information, because it's about to be a lot of information. Okay, so number one, I want y'all to understand that you got to understand, you got to know your self-worth. Okay, now knowing your self-worth is understanding that it's okay for you to lose, it's okay for you to fuck up, and it's okay for you not to be perfect, because you are where you are because you consistently chose to not make the decisions that you seen as necessary. And this is just the beginning. So I really want y'all to understand this is where it starts. You have to be able to really make that decision. You have to be able to kind of have the audacity to really make new decisions, do new things. Because if you're not ready to make new decisions, if you're not ready to do new things, this program is not for you. You have to be open to doing new information. You know what I'm saying? But I want y'all to understand that y'all have things that once y'all get to a certain point in this game, y'all will have things that y'all can give to me, and I'll have things that I can give to y'all. You know what I'm saying? There are things you probably can give to me now, but you don't really feel like you're worth that. You don't really feel like you have earned that attention. You don't feel like you have earned that kind of attention from me, where we can have that kind of conversation. But the real reality of it is that whenever you get to a certain point in this game, you are able to offer everybody anything. But if you don't really have any self-worth, you don't have any real belief or self-knowledge in yourself, you're not worth that. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to really develop one thing, man, which is, even if you think that you can't do something, you have to really still do it. Now, of course, we're going to really have a deep dive into that, and we're going to go multiple avenues into that, but we're going to say that for another video. I just want y'all to understand that where you are, so you can understand where you need to be when it comes down to this type of content of self-work, self-progress. So another thing is that if you make a lot of fucking assumptions, it's really because you choose to not listen to understand. You choose to listen to just know information and take it in, and you listen to for many reasons. But the best way for you to stop making assumptions, and I'm gonna tell y'all why making assumptions is such a big killer in the game. Let's just say if I made assumptions, I wouldn't be here right now. And that's just no cap. If I felt like, oh yeah, bro, these motherfuckers that know how to talk, that shit was just luck. That shit, they just gifted with that, bro. Everybody got gifts. If I really made that kind of assumption and believed that nobody ever learned a skill, if I believed that nobody ever, that making assumptions wasn't really a bad thing, if I really act like I knew that when somebody was telling me something differently, if I didn't have my ears open, I would have never really caught that information because I would have been listening, saying, well, I know that, I know this, I know that. I wouldn't have been listening, you know what I'm saying? Because I already felt like I knew everything, even when it was being taught to me. You feel me? So I really want y'all to understand that you have to be able to sit down and listen to understand, take in the words and understand the person that's behind the words, understand what they might mean. You know what I'm saying? And most of all, you need to understand the way that they might see themselves, because all of this is important and all of this really kind of goes in when it comes down to, really taking in all this information that I'm giving y'all and being able to use it and exercise it and actually try to ask questions in the the comment section down below. This is a private, this is a private thing. You know what I'm saying? If you got questions, you can message me. You feel me? This is a Patreon. This is a completely different kind of vibe. So if y'all got questions, I will answer the questions once I see them. You know what I'm saying? I really have no problem answering those questions. But I really want y'all to know is that if you're making assumptions and you think you know everything and you don't have the results that you know everything already, bro, you need to sit your ass down, humble yourself, and listen. But this doesn't need to just be a constant thing with me. This needs to be a constant everything with your life. Sometimes people like to feel like they know things because they don't want to be put in the position that they don't know, or they may not, or they may be wrong. What I really want y'all to understand is that you have to be willing to be in a position where you could be wrong. You could be wrong. All right, like y'all really gotta understand that this is what most of the world don't understand when it comes down to listening, bro. Even Jesus listened to the devil, man. He had a conversation with the devil, man. This is biblical. This shit's been going down. You know what I'm saying? But they got people who really don't like to be open to information because they feel like, damn, I know more than him. I'm right, he wrong, or I'm good at this and he good at that. Well, because he's so bad at this, you know what I'm saying, he might not know this. Thinking that way is limiting. You're limiting yourself. You ain't even limiting the person that you're making an assumption about. You ain't limiting yourself to the information. You're limiting yourself to seeing how far you really can expand your mind, because the assumptions that you're making is low-key shrinking your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do believe that you can always grow your intelligence. Your intelligence is never limited to one source. Like, your intelligence can continuously grow. But you have to be, open to the information constantly to develop yourself in a way that you can always adapt and overcome different situations. So I really want y'all to understand assumptions is one of the biggest killers to somebody's game. It's not even like there's no competition, bro. Assumptions to me will always be one of the biggest killers to somebody's game. Okay, so stop making assumptions, bro. Stop acting like you know everything. Stop acting like you a know-it-all. Stop acting like you're the best person in sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? The moment you say to yourself that I don't even know what I don't know, so let me just listen. You don't know what you don't know, bro. You don't know what you don't know. You know what's crazy is that sometimes I be knowing shit about information, right? And I sit back and I decide to listen to somebody that I'm helping, and I look at something so small that they even said, and they probably overlooked it, and I would dissect this one small piece of what they said, and because of the way I think, they don't think the way I think. So because they see that small piece, they might not see it as important. I took this small piece of what they say and I could turn it to a whole motherfucking philosophy. You know what I'm saying? I turn it to a whole fucking philosophy. For example, somebody was trying to help me with one of my videos, and he said I believe that you really, you edit your videos too much when it comes down to taking off different, cutting it too short. And he felt uncomfortable saying that. I can hear it in his voice that he was very uncomfortable because he didn't really understand me. You know what I'm saying? He never really, a lot of people really don't. You know what I'm saying? Because whenever you get to a certain point, you realize that people barely understand. They just know what you are. You know what I'm saying? They don't really understand it. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's all right. But, he just said something about me editing too much, and I took that as like, okay, well, keep in mind, I know this guy don't really know shit about my content. You know what I'm saying? I know he don't understand my editing, but what I look at. But I took in what he said when I'm talking about taking in a viewer's attention. I took that into consideration, and I I flipped up the, that's when my intro came about. That's when the all right, fire 'em up came out. Because it's like, I made all that shit according to the attention span of the viewer. You know what I'm saying? Off of me thinking about what he said. You feel me? But so I've turned it to a whole principle, even though he overlooked, he didn't even say anything predicated to that. But I just off of me listening to what he had to say, I found a whole another way to look at something. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest blessing when it comes down to, the actual information that I have that, that you can listen to and, you can really come up with and you can create in your mind, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't allow yourself to actually listen, you won't ever get it. You know what I'm saying? You won't ever get to that access and you won't ever get to that point in your life. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all joined in for communication, be a better communicator. Bro, you will never be a good communicator if you don't listen to people, bro. You will never be a good communicator if you don't listen to people because you don't understand what they mean by just listening to them. You feel me? You don't. You don't understand what people mean by just listening to them. You don't understand who they are when you listen to them. So you just saying a whole bunch of shit and you don't understand what the fuck they might mean. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand what they might mean because you're not listening. You got to listen to them, man. And it's a whole different thing. So I really want y'all to understand this one key thing when all of what I just said thus far has a lot to do with your own validation. You have to validate yourself constantly. And I'm about to tell y'all how all that shit tie in. Because if you don't understand your self-worth, that's because you seeking for somebody else to validate you. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all all have experienced this because we all have experienced this. We all are human. You know what I'm saying? We all had a moment when we was feeling our self-worth and we was looking at our worth a certain way of something we might do and somebody said something and they instantly made us want to do it off them saying it. And we was like, damn, I was thinking about that. I just never did it. But when somebody told you that you had this or you was doing this or you was good at this, it made you just want to do it. It made you just want to do it just that much more. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, that's what allowed you, that's what made you want to, get to it. You feel me? That's because your worth isn't predicated fully, your validation is predicated on other people, what other people might think. It's not entirely built around you. And because your validation is not 100% built around you, you're somebody who always going to be in a standstill in the same place because that's just how the world is, you feel me? The world is mapped around in a way of they validate things that's already set in stone. But as a man and as somebody being who you are, you got to validate things for yourself for it to be set in stone. You got to believe when nobody else believes because nobody can see what you can see in your mind. You feel me? So your validation has to be constantly coming from you. I shouldn't even be confirming your validation to a certain extent. Of course, when you're new to the game, it's best for you not to seek your own validation to a certain extent, I'll be honest, because if I was seeking my own validation at the beginning, I probably wouldn't have got as far as I did. So, of course, you need to always be learning. But even then, it's like you need to basically say how good you are because what I realize is that I'm better than what my mentor might think is good. You know what I'm saying? So, and, he acknowledged, what I'm saying? He started glimpsing those things. He started seeing those things, what I'm saying? That I'm better than what he thought I could be. You know what I'm saying? So, you have to know your own self-worth at certain things, what I'm saying? You got to definitely know your own self-worth at all times. Like, even if you don't know a situation and you're not good at a situation, you need to be able to tell yourself and really understand that you're the type of motherfucker that can adapt and adjust to the situation and figure it out and still become somebody that's good or great at what you do. You need to be able to identify your own worth, but it has to be real. It can't be faked. It can't be pretended. It has to be constantly worked on, has to be constantly grown for it to actually be like a natural, everyday, every lifestyle thing. It's going to be a lifestyle. It ain't like y'all whole motherfuckers who really brought this shit, like y'all whole lifestyle finna change. Y'all don't even know it. Like, if you ain't ready for your life to change, bro, I promise you need to get your refund, motherfucker, because your whole life is finna change because you finna see things for what they are. Seeing the real in situations, bro, it's going to change y'all, bro, because y'all going to start seeing y'all worth. I promise you, bro, you got certain avenues you probably ain't seeing your worth. When you start seeing your worth, dog, you're going to start seeing the abundance that you have to offer. You know what I'm saying? And all of that has to do with your validation, dog. If you can validate yourself, you no longer will make assumptions because you understand that with you being right or wrong doesn't matter. What matters is that you can see the truth in the situation. If you can see the truth in the situation, it's up to you to make a decision from there on what you want to do, on how you see it, on what you're gonna use, with the information that you now know. That's what comes from not seeking validation from others. When you're not seeking validation from others, you stop wasting your time. You know what I'm saying? You stop wasting all your fucking time because you constantly validating yourself. You need to be constantly validating yourself, bro. Constantly telling yourself what you're doing good. Constantly telling yourself what you're doing better at. Constantly. You need to be your own cheerleader, dog. You know what I'm saying? You need to be constantly telling yourself that you are growing. Or like, if you fuck up, it's all right, bro. You're gonna do better. I'm gonna be better. I'm like, oh man, I ain't this, I ain't that, man. I'm good enough to get it done. When that voice start talking in your head, I'm good enough to get it done. If you're not moving like that, man, you're getting your validation from somebody else. You need to get your validation from yourself. When you get your validation from yourself, you move a little different. You feel a little different because you're no longer looking for anybody else to make you feel better about yourself. You automatically feel good about yourself. You feel me? And it's a different kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? It's a different kind of way of living. It's a different kind of way of feeling when you actually getting that validation from yourself constantly. So when you're listening, you're gonna start to understand that other people don't also doing the same thing as you, experiencing the same thing as you, but on different levels. You know, that's like different insecurities that's gonna come into, bro. There's so much shit that coming behind validation, bro. But I want y'all to understand that your validation, that you validating yourself, is basically the outsource of why everything is so, useful, and everything is so vivid for you to be able to access and for you to express, because you're not seeking validation from other people. You feel me? You seeking validation from yourself. For example, Kobe Bryant, man. If he was seeking validation from other people, he would have given up a long time ago. You feel me? Kobe Bryant, his teammates didn't like him. His teammates told him to pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? They told him to pass the ball. They didn't say shoot the shots. They passed the ball, Kobe. Kobe passed the fucking ball. Kobe said, chill out, I got this. If he wasn't validating himself, he would have never been the Kobe Bryant we know. You know what I'm saying? If he wouldn't have been that, because his teammates, nobody around him told him he was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to sit right there and really think about that, bro. If nobody around him was telling him he was good, and he ended up being a Kobe Bryant that we all know and love, damn. Damn, you know what I'm saying? But you can do that. You can be that. You know what I'm saying? I'm that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got people who don't believe in me. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm that, you can be that. Everybody can be that, because you always gonna have haters. You always gonna have people who, non-believers that's around. It's gonna always be there. But you have to. That's why you have to. It's a necessity for you to have, believe in yourself and validate yourself, because if you don't, you're initially putting yourself in position to be stopped by somebody else. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got those insecurities, you ain't got all those things in check, you're going to constantly seek validation from other motherfuckers. You're going to constantly be shy. You're going to constantly be quiet. You're going to constantly be somebody who's scared of confrontation, because you need that validation to feel good about yourself. You need validation from other people to feel good about yourself. It's a bad way of living. It's a terrible way of living, man. So, on to the next thing. That's a whole work. I want y'all to understand that self-worth is important. Making assumptions is important. Stop making assumptions is important. To be able to sit down and listen is the most important thing, a part of this whole program. Because the next things I'm finna tell y'all is what's really gonna do it for y'all, man. Damn, I should have brought some water out here, man. Shit. I'm gonna bring some water next time. Hold on, let me get it right there. Thirsty as a mother. Dehydrated, goddamn, but nah. So I want y'all to understand that you gotta have faith. You gotta have self-belief. The moment you got self-belief and you got faith in yourself is the moment you really walk, talk, and move a little different, bro. You're gonna start moving different. You feel me? You're gonna start moving different. The moment you got faith in yourself, that's when you know you're not good at something and you still believe that you can do it. I know some people call it confidence. I call it self-belief. You know what I'm saying? When you believe in yourself, you know you're gonna start doing shit that you probably should have been doing. When you start, like, I probably should have been doing this, man. But when you start believing in yourself, everything start hitting different. You know what I'm saying? Everything start hitting different when you believe in yourself. Because they got a lot of for a situation. They got a certain guy, man, right? We'll say me shooting my shot, right? I don't know if she's gonna say yes or no. I don't know if you say yes or no, but it's not about that. Because I'm not only seeking validation from myself. So if she say no, she don't realize what she missed out on. But 2, my faith is not about her. It's about me. It's about me making that move. It's about me constantly growing and me constantly building, making a new comfort zone. It's about me becoming somebody. The big picture of me becoming somebody that always does things even when it's uncomfortable. That does things that I want to do even if I think it's uncomfortable because I want to do it. I go for what I want. I have faith in myself. I'm going to start this program that might flop, that might do bad, that might do good, but I ain't gonna lie, this shit ain't gonna flop. But because that's the faith I have in myself. I have a certain self-belief. And we're going to develop that in you. You know what I'm saying? Which is, it takes practice, y'all. It takes practice. But you need to understand this one concept, is that life is about being blindfolded, y'all. Imagine being blindfolded, bro. Imagine you are completely fucking blindfolded. Like I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? You in a dark room. And we about to get very vulgar with this example because it's really about blissing. And you gotta have a different mentality to really be in this lab. So you really gotta be able to blitz. If you cannot blitz, which means you cannot attack, this is not for you. This is for people who can attack. So if you ain't got the mentality that you can attack somebody's ego, you ain't got the mentality that you can attack what you want, you ain't got the mentality that you can attack that opportunity. Even if it's a little aggressive, even if it is full-blown aggressive, this is not for you, man. This is not for you, man. This is I'm telling you, when you get through this, bro, you will develop a mentality of that you will become the aggressor. And if you have a defense, you decide to be defensive, bro, your defense going to be so fucking elite. It's like diamond. It's like a wall of fucking diamond, bro. Come on, man. You don't see this. You don't see that? A wall of diamond, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. We seen walls of steel. We seen walls of brick with a wall of diamond, man. Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's be real, man. So this is where we at with it. Imagine yourself in a room, blindfolded. Blindfolded. Can't see nothing. And you in a room, in a dark room where nobody can see nothing. And you choose to be blindfolded. You cover up your own eyes. And you just fully believe and rely on only yourself. You don't know you don't know what the outcome gonna be. You don't know where you're gonna go. You don't know who you're gonna touch. But you completely cover up your eyes and you completely rely on just you. Only thing you know is you. That's all you know. What you're capable of, what you're good at, your strengths, your weaknesses. That's all you know is you. If that's all you know, it's up to you to use that information about what you know about yourself to go ahead and catch you some bodies. That's what I said, man. It's like a samurai. Like, get you some kills. This is what this is about. You have to initially be able to rely on yourself to get kills and stay alive in this dark room. That's how elite you have to be when it comes down to you being able to rely on yourself. But it's across the board with everything because, believe it or not, this world don't give a fuck about you. It don't. Like I just told y'all, you have to validate yourself. It's a constant thing, dog. You got to constantly be doing it. If you do not recognize and you do not understand that you have to have faith in yourself blindly, because that's the only way you're going to grow. But you have to constantly you have to not make assumptions. You have to constantly know your worth. You have to constantly be listening. You have to constantly be getting better. But you have to move in faith for you to grow. You have to fuck up for you to grow. Your worth has to be up enough where if you fuck up, you know you good. You know you still that guy. You're still that guy. You ain't see it through. You fucked up. You fucked up, but you still that fucking guy. You still that fucking guy. You know how much self-love that you gotta have for you to be that, for you to do that? Do y'all not understand the amount of self-love that you have to have for you to do that? Your self-love needs to be high. All what I'm saying, it has a lot to do with love, bro. Your shit gotta be high. Your shit gotta be to the motherfucking ceiling. If it's not, none of this gonna work. This shit, I ain't lying, bro. All this shit, when you put it together, y'all really gonna see, like, that's why I'm saying, like, this shit works. But it works once you really sit down and you understand it. And that's my next thing. I hope y'all had y'all pens and paper out the whole time, bro. Because y'all really got to study this using what I'm about to tell y'all right now. Especially. Which is having understanding. You need to understand how you feel. What you're thinking in the moment. You need to have your thoughts about what you're thinking. You need to know what you desire. You need to know your dream. You need to know how your attitude is. And you need to know your objectives. When it comes down to the way you're thinking, I'm talking about in the moment. When you thinking in the moment, the way you move around when you in the moment. All right? It's just real life. When you move around in the moment, when you just, you know what I'm saying, in the moment. How you operate? What are you thinking? How are you thinking in that moment? All right, let's say right now I'm outside, I'm in the girl. Right now I'm thinking, I hear sirens. Man, that might be somebody going down bad because every time I hear sirens, every time I seen sirens going somewhere, usually somebody getting shot or something bad happens, somebody catching a heart attack. I hope so. Whoever is going towards is somebody that's well. I hope that I wish them well. You know, things that's my thinking. My thinking process is my past. My thinking process is things that I've been through. That's my thinking process. My thoughts on what I'm thinking is that, damn, you can tell I really grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I probably shouldn't even think that way. I probably should think positive. I just look at it for what it is. But for the example, that's what I mean. I should have thought positive. I should have thought differently. I should have thought along. Like, you should, like, when it comes out of this part right here, you align this with your principle. So if you somebody who thinking with your self-worth and, you know, you fuck up, you're like, man, I ain't shit, bro. Look at me. I'm always fucking up. I'm stupid. Right? Your self-worth low. You know, for you, your thoughts on your thinking should be, because you know you should have how high self-worth is. Yeah, I knew I fucked up. Where did I fuck up? Where can I get better? I know I can get better. I know I ain't, you know, I know this don't define who I am. I just fucked up one time. You know what I'm saying? So what can I do from this situation? What can I learn from this situation to get better? That's the thought that you need to replace that way of thinking with. You need to understand your feelings. You need to understand the way you would feel before. You understand what you need to feel after. If you would have made that same thought process, you would feel bad. You would feel bad. You would feel like shit. So you would feel like you ain't shit. That's how you would feel. You would feel bad. Versus, god damn, boy, I'm dehydrated like a motherfucker. Versus feeling good and knowing that you're going to do better. You see how one makes you see that you can be negative and one see you can be positive? That's the feeling that you'll have. And they got way more knowledge about the ways that I personally use these, because this is just the basics, but I got so many personal ways that I use these and became advanced. So many keys, and that's kind of what the advanced material goes into, where, you know, we really deep dive into all of these things from my own experience. But the basics is very valuable. The basics is very valuable. You know what I'm saying? So, your desire, what's your desire? My desire is to always be somebody constantly making progress. My desire is to always be, to not let anything really hold me down, no matter the situation it is. I know I can always grow. I know I can always get better, and I'm constantly getting better. The dream is to operate on this level without even thinking about it. To operate on a level where I know my worth, and I don't falter, I don't fuck up. You know, well, even if I do fuck up, I'm not even tripping on it. I just make it. I don't even got to think about it. It's just automatic. I just already, because I already know my self-worth. I already know my worth. Oh, yeah, you thought you did something, huh? Bro, I don't care. I don't care. I did it. I did it. It ain't turned out the way I wanted. I did it. But I did it. Fuck it. It is what it is. You know your worth. You know your worth. Your dream. That's the dream. Now, the attitude you have towards it is more so a positive attitude, a negative attitude. If you have a negative attitude towards it, it's going to look something like, well, I don't know, it's kind of uncomfortable. I don't know this, I don't know that. I don't really think I can do this. I don't think I can do that. You know, it's just negative. You know, a positive attitude is more so I can. If I don't know this, let me figure out this so I can get better at this at least, and it can make this better. If I don't understand this, I can understand this. I believe I can do everything when it comes down to it. I can get the necessary accomplishment to change my mindset. I can understand and live by the principle of self-worth completely. I believe I can fully understand, fully live by, and fully create my own meaning of what self-worth is. Right? So your objectives is the things that you can map out in front of you. So something that you're afraid of, something you're scared to do, something you're kind of embarrassed to do, you need to do that. If you think that, oh yeah, man, that's too much, it's too great, it's too big, I don't think I can really attack that because you got a certain attitude towards it. Well, you need to adjust yourself to go forward on that. You don't need to be extremely like bold, brave, and say, oh yeah, I'm not built that way. You just ain't built that way. I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you build yourself up. Build yourself up. Build yourself up by aiming small. Go for something small. Just do something little, bro. Do something small. If you do something small, you gonna grow. You're going to constantly grow. So that's all that matters. As long as you constantly growing in that way, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Everything else don't matter. As long as you constantly growing and getting closer to that overall dream, desire, and goal, that's all that matters. So I really want y'all to understand that when you're using that and using all what I just now taught y'all, which is the basic game, this is basic game. And I know it's a lot of shit to learn, especially when it comes down to actually being able to like make it natural for you to not constantly do. Live it, man. Go live it, man, because the game is infinite, which is the last part. The game is infinite, bro. The game does not stop. It goes on forever. Y'all might understand how you might see or you might think that it might end here, but it doesn't. This shit goes on forever, bro. This shit has no limits. Zero fucking limits. It has no limits, bro. So I want y'all to understand is that you can choose to not start now, but it's something that you're going to have to do eventually to get what you want out of life, because this is the lab, dog. If you in the lab, you somebody who really wants to cook up. You somebody who trying to, mix some chemicals and trying to put things together and, combust with something, a whole different experience. You trying to come up with something entirely new. Nikola Tesla type shit. You creating your own new invention. And you are going to be that person to do that. I believe you are. If you choose to be, if that's what you want, that's what you're going to be. But the game is infinite. Because y'all learning from me, what y'all got to realize is that y'all going to end up building up a mentality that you're going to start to realize that you're going to become your own man or woman, whoever you are, a woman. I ain't gonna lie. If you watching me and you a woman, shit, I ain't lying. God damn, you finna be a bad motherfucker. Goddamn, a bad, I ain't trying to, do all that. This my shit. You about to be a bad bitch. Goddamn shit. God damn. But nah, you finna really come up with your own characteristics. So, when you get to the point where you are intermediate, when you are advanced, I ain't lying. When you get past the basics, you're gonna get recognized. It's gonna be hard to not recognize. But once you get intermediate, advanced, it's gonna be you gonna stand out so much that it's gonna be hard to hide. It's gonna be very hard to hide. It's gonna have to be a conscious choice to hide. So, whenever you choose to really go this way about it, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all choosing to go infinite, y'all realize that y'all gonna develop your own character. Y'all gonna be your own being. Y'all gonna be y'all gonna really be authentic, dog. Like, y'all gonna be so authentic to the point where you're unrecognizable from your past. Like, they're gonna be like, man, I remember you was this way, and now look at you. You done grew up. You done became something different. No matter what your age is, y'all. I don't give a fuck if you 50, you 60, you on your way out, you on your way out the door. Motherfucker, you gonna be fucking still, you still are going to evolve in a way that your mindset is gonna change, that you gonna really seem like an entirely different person, like you had an awakening. I'm telling y'all, because the mentality, the build that you're gonna come with and the characteristics you're gonna come with, it's gonna make you a whole nother kind of person, bro. And this is my, you know what I'm saying, Patreon. This is the beginning. This is the intro to what we doing here. Hope y'all enjoy this content, man. Hope y'all do enjoy, man. It's gonna be an infinite game. It's gonna be a lot going on to this. It's gonna be a lot of characteristics, character building, personality building, aura building. It's gonna be a lot of, you know, it's gonna be a lot of different things. So I hope y'all really did enjoy this, man. I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all, man.